Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the worship service of the First Unitarian Church of Hobart. My name is Barb Langle, and I participate in the life of the church by baking. No. No, I participate in the life of the church by serving on the Board of Trustees, among other things. We are a religious community of diverse beliefs and shared values. Our diverse beliefs are expressed in our 6 sources, and our shared values are expressed in our 7 principles. Both can be found online at uua.org. Together, we strive to grow spiritually, build community, and live our values in the world. Cindy has an announcement.
Hey, thank you, Barb. So this week on Wednesday, we're going to be taking over the school supplies that our church has collected for the past month. Those school supplies are going to the teachers of Henry S. Evans Elementary School in Lake Station, Indiana. So we got to thinking, why not invite anybody who wants to go to come with us on Wednesday morning? I've talked with the principal. There will be teachers there. I explained to her our church values education, and many of us are former teachers. And we just want them to know that teachers deserve our respect and attention. And this was an effort that FIA spearheaded, is not an effort that only FIA did. So if this is something you are free to do and are interested in doing, meet us either at the church at 10:15 if you'd like a ride, or at Henry S. Evans Elementary School in Lake Station, Indiana. If you do need a ride, let me know so we know to wait for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. We are currently streaming our services online. The joys and sorrows portion, however, is private, and we will take a break during that time. The service will be recorded and will be available for future viewing on Facebook, YouTube, and the church website. Please let your Facebook and Twitter friends know that you're attending worship with hashtag First Unitarian Hobart. Silence your devices and take a deep breath and another.
Please join me in lighting the chalice. We gather this hour
As people of faith, joys and sorrows, gifts and needs, life is beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of a life we share together.
Please rise in body or spirit for our doxology. The words are in order of service and on the screen.
Seated. So I'm going to try out this lapel mic that I'm wearing. Can everybody hear me? Yes? Okay, great. So each week during our worship service, we take some time to share joys and sorrows with one another, to offer what we've been carrying on our hearts, whether it's been lifting us up or weighing us down. And so I would invite you to share your joys and sorrows into this space. And I'll come around with this microphone, and if you'd like to share a joy or sorrow with us, please just share with us your name so that we know who you are. Does anybody have a joy or sorrow to share with us this morning? our 4 key roles to take their spaces for the beginning of our ritual. So welcome to our celebration of first fruits. At the beginning of August, the ancient Celts celebrated the feast of Lunasa, honoring their harvest god Lu. It was adopted by medieval Christians as the feast of Loaf-Mass, or Lammas. We are now at the midpoint of the warm half of the year that began at Beltane on May 1st and will end with Samhain on November 1st. We are about halfway between the summer solstice and the fall equinox. This cross-quarter day, the first of 3 harvest festivals, marks in some climates the first cut of grain and the baking of bread from that new grain. Wherever in the northern hemisphere we live, whether our fields are ripe with wheat or corn, barley or oats, rye or rice, let us be mindful of the many hands and hearts that bring the bread to our tables.
Mighty hard road that my poor hands have hoed. My poor feet have traveled on a hot, dusty road. Oh, you dust bowl and westward we rode. Your deserts were hot and your mountains were cold. I worked in your orchards of peaches and prunes, slept on the ground in the light of the moon. The edge of the city you will see us now and then. We'll come with the dust and we'll go with the wind. Green pastures of plenty from dry desert ground. Grand Coulee Dam where the waters run down. The state in the union us migrants have been. And we'll work in this fight and we'll fight till we win. It's always we ramble that river and I, along your green valley I will work till I die. Will land I'll defend with my life if it be, 'cause my pastures of plenty must always be free.
So this wreath, made of sheaves of grain, represents the circle of our community and the fruits of our harvest. The candles represent those whose work makes our lives possible, those who labor for our nourishment. We invite you to join in blessing them as we light the candles. The response is in your program.
We light the first candle for all the farmers who plow and plant the seeds of the world's grains.
Bless the labor
Labor
of their
their
hands and the kindness of their hearts.
We light the second candle for all who harvest the world's grains, whether by hand or machine, whether migrant or settled, for those who thresh and mill it, and for the animals who help them.
We bless the labor of their hands and hooves and the kindness of their hearts.
We light the third candle for all who transport the flour, for the bakers who transform it into bread, for the merchants who make both flour and bread available to us.
Bless the labor of their hands and the kindness of their hearts.
We light the fourth candle for those who feed us, for our parents who first put bread on our tables and taught us to enjoy its taste, for those in our households who prepare the food, for friends who invite us to share a meal, for all those who cook and serve food in soup kitchens and hospitals, in school cafeterias and restaurants, and at every hearth around the world.
Bless the labor of their hands and the kindness of their hearts. Some of us can remember from our growing up the magic of the neighborhood bakery, where a tinkling bell announced our entry into a sanctuary of sweets. It was a bright, clean place that smelled of dough baking, where sparkling chrome and glass cases were laden with fruit-filled buns and honey dips, apple strudel and crumb cakes, ginger men and eclairs and tea cakes. The back racks bore crusty loaves of different shapes and shades, and on display was a 3-tiered wedding cake with a fluted ribbon of sugary white icing. For others of us, the best baking memories are of our parents' kitchen. While cookies cooled on racks, we could eat the broken ones still warm. And despite the warning to be careful, we hovered over the oven as the opening door released a hot, sweet wave of cinnamon or chocolate. Cherish these memories, for it is often near the hearth that the heart is best revealed.
I want to die an old baker woman, with my hands floured white, my apron starched across a clean at last heart, while vitals spilling from measuring cups and spoons, sugar, salt, shortening, soda, powder, milk, eggshell jaws on marble, white noise, whir of beaters, wash of morning sun on the porcelain oven door and ivory lace floor. I want to die spooning cookie batter into ragged globes, shaping doughy embryos into rounded loaves, rolling pie crust into waxing moons, my baking mother waiting in the white light with leaven for her rising.
While some see themselves as bakers, others think of themselves as the bread, kneaded by the hands of the universe or of a divine baking.
Baker woman God, I am your living bread, strong, brown baker woman God, I am your low, soft, and being shaped loaf. I am your rising bread, well kneaded by some divine and knotty pair of knuckles. By your warm earth hands, I am bread well kneaded. Put me in fire, baker woman God. Put me in your own bright fire. I am warm, warm as you from fire. I am white and gold, soft and hard, brown and round. I am so warm from fire. Break me, baker woman God. I am broken under your caring word. Drop me in your special juice in pieces, drop me in your blood. Drunken me in the great red flood, self-giving chalice, swallow me. My skin shines in the divine wine. My face is cup covered and I drown. I fall up in a red pool in a gold world where your warm sun skin is there to catch and hold me. Baker woman God, remake.
Grain is the most basic of foods, the staff of life, the staple of our diet.
Whatever form it takes, grain appears on our tables and bed trays, in our lunch boxes and picnic baskets, at our large, lavish banquets, and our lonely midnight snacks with comforting, nourishing regularity. Let us meditate on the gifts of grain. I invite you to count these blessings, literally, to write down as many forms as you can, as many as you can think of, in which grain appears in your diet. After a few minutes, we'll collect and collate your responses, and later in the ritual, offer them as a litany of grains.
So now what you've written down will be collected for our use in the service later on. The original feast of Lunasa was the celebration of Lu, one of the most powerful and popular of the Celtic gods. He was patron of the arts and crafts and an accomplished blacksmith, carpenter, and metalworker, as well as a talented harpist, gifted poet, sorcerer, physician, and champion chess player. Beyond this, he was a handsome young athlete and a warrior who defended his people against their enemies and protected the wheat crops against disease.
At the festival of Lunasa, the first of the grain was ritually harvested and taken to a hilltop where it was offered to the deity. Everyone ate a meal that included bread made with the new grain, as well as blueberries and the meat of a sacrificial bull. Dancers enacted a play that may have dramatized the struggle of rivals for a goddess, possibly symbolizing the struggle of light and darkness for the day, or of summer and winter for the earth. There were dance contests as well. Other plays may have reenacted Lu's victory over the rival tribe or his defeat of blight or famine. We are about to enjoy a contemporary version of that battle in the play Lu Among the Locusts. You will be the wheat field. As the sheaves, if our volunteers would come up, our servers?
Yes.
Our servers need to come up now. And sheaves of wheat will be passed around. Please take one and prepare to be our field.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm not a wheat. I'm in the play. Aren't you going to invite me to lunch?
How you doing?
I've been here and there. We had a population explosion in our neck of the woods, so I had hit the road. But this here is looking good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll do this for lunch and dinner for the rest of the summer. What do you say?
I say, get out your napkin.
Ready to eat. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Whoa. Did somebody ring my lunch bell?
Wow. I think I'm having a religious experience.
Oh. Oh, what was that?
I'm sorry, I can't help it, you know.
Why
I'm
not?
a stink bug.
Oh.
And who are you?
Why, I am a wheat bug, and this is my destiny.
No, it isn't. We got here first.
Well, so?
So you and your smelly pal can just find yourselves another field.
Or at least another deodorant.
Why should we? We found this one.
So we found this one.
And then we found you finding this one.
Mm-hmm.
Finders keepers.
So we get to keep you?
What's he talking about?
Well, no, but don't get him excited, or he'll do that spitting thing again.
Now listen, why can't we share? Nobody ever wants to share. It's not nice.
Who has time for nice? It's the survival of the fittest out here.
But we could all be fit if we have enough to eat.
Stinky's got a point here. With an adequate diet, we'd all have energy to exercise.
Hey, don't getting all squishy on me.
Why, exercise, schmexercise. It's time for lunch.
Oh, no, you don't. What's with him anyway?
Oh, now he doesn't like violence. It excites him, and that makes him reek.
Whoa, let's not get excited. Do you see any violence? I don't see any violence. Anything about violence. Why don't you two just stay for lunch? We'll see what we can work out.
Lunch.
Lunch?
Lots of lunch. Let's go.
Let's go! Come on!
This is done for Lou of the Long Arm, harvest god of the Celts. Get away from that field.
Why?
Because my people need that wheat to make bread.
Well, who's stopping them?
You are, my nasty wheat bug. You have an enzyme in your saliva that drastically modifies the nature of the gluten, which, when it comes in contact with water, disintegrates.
Not a problem.
And you, my smelly stink bug friend, you affect the taste of the plant. You actually make it nauseating.
Imagine that.
So what are we supposed to do about it?
Get out of the field.
Well, you heard him, mates. Let's get out of this field.
Yeah! Go get him!
I can't help it. I'm a
Stink bug!
Now listen, I want every one of you out of this field now,
Or what?
or else.
He wouldn't do it! think of it.
No, he wouldn't even dream of it. You wouldn't, would you?
Of course not. But I would dream of other things,
Like what?
like diversified farming, crop rotation,
Yeah, crop rotation.
planting pest deterrent species of wheat, pest management techniques,
Say what?
like releasing predators of pests, or sterile insects.
And just where would you get them?
I'd fix them to beef.
What about us?
Yeah.
Well, ladies, I'm afraid motherhood will not be part of your future.
No Aggies?
Not in this field.
Bummer. There's something unnatural about this.
Yeah. Why do you take their side, the humans?
Well, I'm their god. I mean, what do you expect?
How about a little cross-species justice?
I'm afraid we're not there yet.
Well, in the meantime,
I can let you have a tiny corner of the field if you promise to keep quiet about it. Deal?
deal.
Deal.
We hope you've been inspired by Lou Among the Locusts and will join in a song celebrating all creation. Oh, and good job, Wheatfield. The words are on the
Please
screen.
rise and bow your head for hymn number 203, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. We'll be reading 4 verses. The words will be on your screen. Your hymnals and in your All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. All creatures of the earth and sky,
seated. At Lunasa, people celebrated the season by climbing hills to pick the blueberries that were plentiful there. This practice reminds us of the pleasure that only seasonal fruits and vegetables can provide. Even in the 21st century, when miracles of transportation and electricity make it possible to ship produce around the world, we can still tell the difference between the imports in winter and the homegrown or local produce in season. The corn that goes from field to pot in 6 hours, the tomatoes from our own garden, the peaches we pick from nearby orchards, the melons we buy from roadside stands. This is the joy of August. This is the taste of the earth at its finest.
Facing the sunset, peaches and sugar, and the sun inside the evening. Like the stone in a fruit, the ear of corn holds intact its hard yellow laughter. August, children eat, dark bread and tasty moon.
Nothing in the world that I like better than bacon and lettuce and homegrown tomatoes. Up in the morning and out in the garden, gonna get you a ripe one, don't get a hard one. Plant them in the spring, eat them in the summer. When they're out, clean every bumper. Get about sweating and a digging every time I go out and pick me a big one. Homegrown tomatoes, what life would be without homegrown tomatoes. Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. You can go out and eat, that's for sure, but it's nothing a homegrown tomato won't kill. Put them in the salad, put them in the stew. You can make your very own tomato juice. Eat them with an egg, eat them with the gravy, eat them with the beans, pinto or navy. Put them in the side, put them in the middle. Put a homegrown tomato on a hot cake griddle. It's time to change this life I lead just like Johnny Tomato Seed. Cause I know what this country needs is homegrown tomatoes in every yard you see. When I die, don't bury me out in a box in a cemetery. Out in the garden would be much better. I could be pushing up homegrown tomatoes.
Our delight in the taste of seasonal flavors is matched only by our joy in the first fruits of the grain harvest. We've counted our blessings and will now share our responses. So let us celebrate the many forms of grain and the richness they bring to our lives. Your responses to the litany as we go through, I'm going to read off, Maggie's going to read off these submissions to the extent that she can read your writing. And the response will be, blessed be the earth of grain. So Maggie will read off a couple of things that people have in the regular diet, and then we'll respond with, blessed be the earth, the bread of earth. Blessed be the bread of earth.
Okay. Let us rejoice in bread, cereal, rice pudding, rice cakes, cookies, cakes, and breaded meats.
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
In crackers, corn snacks, tortillas, naan, crunchy breaded chicken, soft and gooey stuffing.
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
Pasta, bread and beer, Eucharist, daily bread in all meals.
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
Pizza crust.
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
Feeding the birds, sandwiches, salads, oatmeal for breakfast, golden fields of wheat in the summer sun.
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
Quinoa, flax seeds, corn, rye.
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
Oat, breading, buns, bagels, pita, and corn chips.
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
Wasa with soup. Impossible burgers, cinnamon bread, Spanish rice, rice and beans, croissants,
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
garlic bread, donuts, crackers,
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
muffins, sushi, cream of wheat, oatmeal, pie, meatballs,
Blessed be the bread of the earth.
lemon bars.
Blessed be the bread of the earth. We are blessed with an abundance and variety of grains. Ancient peoples had fewer choices, but they understood the importance of cultivating.
I have one more.
One more.
I have one more.
Which one more?
Grain as this is mine.
Yes.
Grain as flour used to thicken white sauce. I remember stirring over the stove as a child.
The bread of the earth.
Thank you.
So ancient peoples had fewer choices, but they understood the importance of cultivating and caring for the grains that they had. And they relied on their gods for help. Lou was not alone. Mythologies around the world celebrate deities that provide grains to sustain human life. The Greeks called upon Demeter and her daughter Persephone. The Romans called upon Ceres. The Sumerians relied on Ashnan. The Aztecs on Chicomacoatl. The Norse on Freya. The Cambodians called the giver of rice Po Ino Nagar. The Javanese honor Sanang Sari as their rice mother and dedicate the finest of the planting grain to her. The ancient Peruvian corn mother, Zaramama, who was believed sometimes to come to earth in corn stalks, which then became the focus for festive dances. Native North Americans attribute the origin of maize to the corn mother, whose story has many variations. Here is one of those variations from a New England tribe.
Now the people increased and became numerous. They lived by hunting, and the more people there were, the less game they found. As the animals decreased, starvation came upon the people, and the first mother pitied them. The little children came to first mother and said, "We are hungry, feed us." But she had nothing to give them, and she wept. She told them, "Be patient, I will make some food, then your little bellies will be full." But she kept weeping. Her husband asked, "How can I make you smile? How can I make you happy?" "There is only one thing that will stop my tears." "What is it?" asked her husband. It is this. You must kill me." "I could never do that." "You must, or I will go on weeping and grieving forever." Then the husband traveled far, to the end of the earth. To the north he went, to ask the great instructor, his uncle Kloskebe, what he should do. "You must do what she wants. You must kill her," said Kloskebe. Then the young man went back to his home, and it was his turn to weep. But First Mother said, "Tomorrow at high noon you must do it. After you have killed me, let 2 of our sons take hold of my hair and drag my body over the empty patch of earth. Let them drag me back and forth, over every part of the patch, until all my flesh has been torn from the body. Afterwards, take my bones, gather them up, and bury them in the middle of the clearing. Then leave that place." And so it was done. The husband slew his wife, and her sons, praying, dragged her body to and fro as she had commanded, until her flesh covered all the earth. Then they took up her bones and buried them in the middle of it. Weeping loudly, they all went away. When the husband and his children and his children's children came back to that place after 7 moons had passed, they found the earth covered with tall, green, tasseled plants. The fruit of these plants, corn, was First Mother's flesh, given so that the people might live and flourish. And they partook of First Mother's flesh and found it sweet beyond words. Following her instructions, they did not eat all of the grain, but put many kernels back into the earth. In this way, her flesh and spirit renewed themselves every 7 months, generation after generations.
There were also male grain deities, including the Aztec Chintotl, the Mayan Ganan, the Egyptian Napur, the Roman Liber, and the Phoenician Dagon, believed to have invented the plow. Ancient vegetation gods like the Sumerian Tammuz, the Greek Adonis, and the Anatolian Attis all experienced a yearly dying and rising, like the seed of life they personified. Rituals honoring them often included the breaking and eating of bread. By thus eating the flesh of the grain gods, their worshippers achieved a holy communion with one another and with their deity. James Fraser, author of The Golden Bough, draws a parallel between the ancient vegetation god and John Barleycorn, the subject of an English folk ballad.
There were three men came out of the west, their fortunes for to try. And these three men made a solemn vow, John Barleycorn must die. They plowed, they sown, they hired him in, threw clouds upon his head, till these three men were satisfied, John Barleycorn was dead. They let him lie for a long, long time, till the rains from heavens did fall. And little Sir John sprang up his head, and so amazed them all. Let him fly till midsummer's day, till he looked more pale and wan. Oh, then little Sir John had grown a long beard, and so became a man. They've hired men with their scythes so sharp, you cut him off at the knee. They rolled him, tied him round the waist, serving him most barbarously. The hired men with their sharp pitchforks to prick him to the heart, and loaders served him worse than that, for he bound him to a cart. Well, they wheeled him round and round the field till they came to a barn. And there they made their solemn oath concerning the barley corn. The hired men with their crabtree sticks to split him from skin to bone. But the miller had served him worse than bad, for he ground him between two stones. With beer all in a barrel and brandy in a glass. But the little old John with the nut brown bowl proved the strongest man at last. John Barleycorn, throw him up. Now the huntsman can't hunt the fox, and the tinker he can mend his pots without John Barleycorn.
With the coming of Christianity, Anglo-Saxons celebrated the feast of August 1st as Llaethmass, or Loaf Mass, which in medieval England and Scotland became Lammas, the feast of first fruits. On this day in England, it was the custom to harvest and mill the earliest of the ripened grains, then bake them into loaves of bread and carry them to church for a blessing. Certainly, bread has played an important role in Judaism and Christianity. And when Moses leads the Israelites out of Egypt, they are hungry in the desert until the Eternal sends daily manna, which the psalmist calls the grain of heaven. And part of the prayer that Jesus teaches his followers includes the petition, "Give us this day our daily bread," using bread as a metaphor for the satisfaction of all human needs. And in John's Gospel, Jesus refers to himself as the bread of life. Just as the vegetation god dies and is buried and in time rises, only to be slain again and born again, so is the grain planted in the earth, in time rising, only to be harvested and planted again, For this is the cycle of all life, the cycle of the earth's seasons, the cycle of our own lives.
To honor these life cycles and to celebrate our communal appreciation for the first fruits of this year's grain harvest, some of you have baked bread to share with us today. We give thanks to the bakers and invite you to come forward, take up your loaf, and tell us what kind of bread you chose to bake and why.
So Medea and Ruth, come on up.
She says she has one that was round and full. I'll start. Yeah, have her start and then we'll find it. Maybe it's in the okay.
So give us this day our daily bread. Matthew 6:11. Luann Miller is the baker of this bread. She baked 30 loaves for us today. She could not be here as it was her 48th wedding anniversary, so I am here representing her journey as the baker of the bread in these baskets and whatever she offers. Sorry, it's missing. Our earth is beautifully alive. Healthy bacteria feeds on carbs, ground grains, for sugars to happily grow, and our world is amazing in this way. If we start feeding flour, water, or whatever ground up grain, the bacteria will feed on it, and it will multiply and double in size. And as we watch this and it's ready, we take part of that and we put it in more flour and bake it for bread or waffles or whatever we're gonna do. And then there's another part that is you take out and you leave, so it will continue to grow as we feed it. And we need to feed it like a little pet. And as we feed it, it will grow and multiply. So daily, this is a process, and it takes attention, and it's a symbiotic relationship that Mother Earth has put us in, where the bacteria feeds on the flour, and we feed on the flour. So, do you want to come up now? Come on up. Come on up. Yeah.
This is a bit of a short explanation. I don't know much about it, but this is a type of Georgian cheese sandwich called khachapuri. It's made in Georgia, well, the country near Russia, not the U.S. state, of course. It's very common in the household. When you go to Georgia, you'll have to eat this almost every day. Well, that's all I can say for now. Hope you understand.
Who made your bread, Medea?
Who made my bread? Mom and I made it together.
You and your mom made the bread together?
Yeah.
And she said this is from Georgia?
Yeah.
Which is a country by Russia?
Yes.
And you're from there, or she's from there?
My dad is from there.
Your dad is from there?
Yeah.
And this is a way that they celebrate is to make this special bread.
Yeah, they have to eat it almost every day.
And they eat it almost every day?
Yeah, among other things.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So Luann, my friend, said that my aunt, a Mennonite farmer's wife, gave me the recipe and the starter that she feeds every day to then pull out and make her bread, and continues to feed the starter. She got her starter from this aunt of hers, which she has fed for over 20 years.
Oh.
So it's a chemical reaction for her of potato flakes and sugar that make it grow, that make the starter grow. Luann has not just fed her family, but she offers this bread to almost everyone she sees in any given day. I have been the recipient of her bread many times, as we have been good friends for over 15 years. Some days I will come home and there will be a loaf of bread in my mailbox or on the porch, and I'll be like, oh, Luann's been here. And I think of her beautiful self, and I enjoy this sweet smelling and tasting bread. Now, Luann does not bake bread without reminding me and others why it is a spiritual practice for her. She told me during a hard time in her life, she was hungry for spiritual guidance, and she was reading from the Bible and noticed how much bread is used as a metaphor for God's love and care. John 6:35, I am the bread of life. 1 Corinthians 5:18, be happy eating bread of sincerity and truth. Psalms 104:15, for God delighteth in giving us bread and wine. Deuteronomy 8:3, man will not live by bread alone, meaning we need God and service. Luann bakes bread daily as her spiritual practice and service to others that represent God's love. She said, I need, K-N-E-A-D, daily spirituality, grace, and service. So this is what I do, or dough. And I loaf around and give out bread. Her puns, not mine. She has another symbiotic relationship with her deity. And I have found this scripture, Isaiah 55:10, remember the earth, the rain. She will give us buds that become our nourishing bread. Well, Luann is Christ-like, and I asked Luann for one loaf for today's talk, and she was like Jesus in Leviticus and turned it into 30 loaves. So please, when you come up, take one loaf per family, and if there's extra, it'll be in the parish hall. That she also gave a pamphlet to go along with each loaf. So please take the pamphlet. It has other scriptures and metaphors for bread. Thank you.
So we'll be gathering the bread on our way out of the sanctuary, but first we'll be joining in song. Please rise and body your spirit for Let Us Break Bread Together.
This tune is one that we have not done here, to my knowledge, so I'm going to play through the entire thing once before we sing it together, because there are additional words that are also not matching. So it's actually really simple, but maybe it'll help for everybody to hear the tune one time through. So here it is.
May the bread we have shared, that we are sharing today, feed our bodies and our spirits, and may all who hunger find nourishment in the generosity of others. And now may our offering be given and received for the good of this church.
We need 4 volunteers. We have no basketball cups. Okay. Thank you for your patience. I also don't have one. We give to celebrate our blessings, to celebrate each other, to share our joys and sorrows. We give because we appreciate music and the sound of our voices and the breath of our life. And we'll just do, you want to use these baskets? Here. Here, you can use my hat.
Can we not use these baskets? Here. Can we not use these baskets? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so apologies, I don't know where those cups and baskets are, but in any case, this is the first Sunday of August, and every first Sunday we explain where the loose change for social change is going this month. Briefly, this month we've chosen Northwest Indiana Community Action Agency. Northwest Indiana Community Action is a local community action agency for Jasper, Lake, LaPorte, Newton, Porter, Pulaski, and Stark counties. It does Northwest Indiana Community Action does a lot of things. It helps people stay independent. It helps with water, gas, and electric bills, housing vouchers, free tax preparations for low-income people, match savings accounts, empowering working mothers by advocating for accommodations for breastfeeding in the workplace, has a family caregiver program to help people with more informal caregivers to help loved ones stay in the home, and it administers the supplemental nutrition assistance for women and infants and children. It's been active since 1965, and in the counties in this area, it serves over 50,000 people annually. One thing I'd like to point out that they do that I've never heard of before, but they have a little loan program to encourage people not to use the predatory payday loan lenders. So if you have any people in your family or friends that are tempted by predatory payday loan people, have them contact the Northwest Indiana Community Action instead. So that's our loose for social change for this month. Please use, oh, you found them. So that's for the cups. Thank you. was freely given is greatly appreciated.
Would you join me in extinguishing the chalice? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry on our hearts until we are together again. Don't forget to take some bread with you, and we'll also have a discussion in the sanctuary in 15 minutes. So I'll see y'all then.